Welcome to Mexico Unexplained, where we will explore the magic, the mysteries, and the miracles of Mexico. This series presents information based partly on theory and conjecture. The podcaster's purpose is to suggest some possible explanation, but not necessarily the only ones to the subjects we will examine. Here is your host, Robert Bitto.
Welcome, and muy bienvenidos to episode number 22 of Mexico Unexplained, where we examine the magic, the mysteries, and the miracles of Mexico. I'm your host, Robert Bitto. What's that huge creature in the skies of Chihuahua? In this episode, we will investigate the gigantic bird sightings happening all over northern Mexico and the Rio Grande Valley of Texas for centuries. The massive bird has been called La Lechuza for its resemblance to an owl. Is this creature real, or is it part of folklore and myth, or maybe something else? There are many descriptions and stories about the Lechuza, and we will first describe the creature and then relate the stories. Depending on which telling you hear, the massive bird can range in stature from the size of a small human to 7 feet tall and can have a wingspan of 15 feet. It is sometimes described as black in color and sometimes as white as snow. In most cases, it has been said to resemble an owl. In other cases, it's more like a huge raven. Some accounts say that the Lechuza's face is that of an old woman, or of something more otherworldly, with large, dark, almond-shaped eyes. In all cases, the Lechuza flies and is seen at night. It has been reported only in the Mexican states of Chihuahua, Coahuila, Durango, Nuevo León, and Tamaulipas, and on the American side of the Rio Grande in Texas. There are many different legends surrounding the sighting of the creature. What could the large variety of explanations mean? The fact that there are so many different legends may indicate that the sightings have occurred over a large geographical area over the years among people who were isolated from one another. One town may have made sense of the sighting in one way, while another town 1,000 miles away may have made sense in another, without ever communicating with each other about it. I will explore a few of the main legends here. One of the main themes running through the stories regarding the Lechuza is that the creature was once a woman who was wronged and who is seeking revenge. Some say the Lechuza is a woman by day and turns into a huge owl by night. Some say that the Lechuza snatches kids because her own child was killed by angry villagers for a crime he did not commit. In a variation of this, the child was killed by a drunk, and so now the Lechuza exacts revenge by hanging around bars, waiting until closing time to attack bar patrons who stumble out into the street after hours, not knowing the danger from the sky about to rain down upon them. In some of the legends, La Lechuza is not a shape-shifting person at all, but a witch's familiar, much like a black cat, and does the bidding of the witch, attacking people and destroying property on her command. Other stories say that the bird is a minion of Satan himself. Not only is the Lechuza said to take humans as prey, it also preys upon the negative emotions of humans, acting as a psychic vampire, drawing power from emotions surrounding human conflict and distress. The Lechuza has been known to appear outside of houses during domestic quarrels, waiting for one of the people involved to storm out of the house to then be snatched and carried to the Lechuza's lair. The Lechuza has a special fondness for children, especially for those who wander away from home after dark. If you feel secure in your home, the creature will make crying sounds like a baby to lure you out of your house. It's also been known to make a whistling sound, like a human whistling. If you answer it back with a whistle of your own, the Lechuza will swoop down and carry you away. If you wake up in the morning and see large scratches on your door or windowsills, it means that the Lechuza was there and is coming for you, so you must prepare yourself accordingly. Can the Lechuza be killed? How can you protect yourself? Because the creature is magical, according to legend, the Lechuza possesses supernatural powers, and care must be taken to kill it or to ward it off. If you shoot at it and it doesn't die, you die instead. If any part of the Lechuza touches you, even a feather from its wingtip, you will die. If you dream about the creature, that means someone in your family will die. In many stories, the Lechuza has been killed, but when the sun comes up, the body of the bird transforms back into the body of a haggard witch. There are several things one can do to ward off an attack by the creature. Hanging a rope with 7 knots in it outside your front door or on your porch shows the creature that you acknowledge and respect it, and it will leave you alone. If you see the creature flying at you, an attack can be repelled with a combination of salt and chili powder thrown into the Lechuza's face. If salt and chili powder are not handy, you can always recite the Magnificat, in Spanish La Magnifica, a Catholic prayer taken from the Gospel of St. Luke, where the Virgin Mary is praising the powers of God. It is also called the Canticle of Mary and celebrates the Visitation, the second joyful mystery of the Holy Rosary. The prayer must be recited in the normal manner and backwards. I'm not sure if this would work. How much time would there be to say this prayer forwards and backwards if a massive bird came out of the sky and was swooping down on you? In any event, it made the list of possible Lechuza repellents. Some stories of Lechuza encounters have happened well into the 21st century and continue to this day. In one recent story, near the town of El Tigre, Chihuahua, a man was driving on a dirt road outside of town when the creature began swooping down on his truck. At one point, it hit the truck's windshield and bounced onto the road in front of the vehicle. The driver gunned the engine, ran over the Lechuza, backed up over it, and ran over it again to be satisfied that he killed the creature. Unfortunately, from the rear view mirror of the truck, the man saw the Lechuza rise again, and he instantly had a heart attack and died at the wheel. This, according to the passenger in the truck. In another story, the Lechuza was hanging around a small town near Nuevo Laredo sometime in the 1950s. The townsfolk gathered together to come up with a plan to kill it. One person lured it out of the trees using his young child as bait. When the Lechuza swooped down to take the child, several men shot at the bird, but only hit it in the claw before it flew off. The next morning, members of the town went to the house of a supposed witch, and she answered the door with a crutch and a bandaged leg. The story ends there, and we don't know what happened. In the United States, in the town of Santa Rosa, Texas, near the border with Mexico, there was a mass sighting of La Lechuza in 1977. The bird was spotted on a tree, then flew to the front door of a woman, scratching the door as if it wanted to get in. By then the neighborhood dogs arrived, barking, and the Lechuza flew away. The dogs ran after the bird as far as they could, but gave up when the Lechuza flew too high. The next morning, all of the neighborhood dogs were dead. Several people saw the massive bird, and all were mystified by the nighttime death of the dogs. Could the legends of the Lechuza exist because they are describing an actual animal? If so, is there physical evidence of the animal's existence? Among the many reports on the internet about this creature, most of which are written in Spanish, there exists only one photo of a supposed Lechuza killed in northern Mexico. I have a copy of that photo on the podcast website, MexicoUnexplained.com. The bird appears to be a huge white barn owl with a 15-foot wingspan. Some dismiss this as a hoax or a fake, something cropped and photoshopped. This, however, is the only piece of photographic proof of the creature's existence. No gigantic feathers, bones, or massive nests have been discovered or uncovered thus far. On the American side of the border, there are many native groups who have similar legends of gigantic birds collectively classified as Thunderbirds. These huge nocturnal birds are in the oral histories of the peoples of the Southwest and the Pacific Northwest, and can be found among the Algonquin, the Ojibwe, and the Winnebago of the northern U.S. and Canada. The thunderbird has garnered serious interest from cryptozoologists, those who study fabled or yet unknown animals, as sightings of these massive birds have also continued through to the 21st century. The Lechuza might turn out not to be the stuff of legend or a mysterious animal yet undiscovered. It could have a more otherworldly origin. Many people connected with the alien abduction phenomenon have reported the sighting of owls before and during their supposed abduction experiences. Many alleged abductees or experiencers claim that an owl is used as a screen memory to take the place of the aliens themselves, so as to cause the human less trauma in dealing with the abduction experience. Owls are often associated with arrival of the Greys, the short, menacing, spindly, hairless creatures with black eyes who carry off humans for experimentation and tests in the UFO lore. The topic of screen memories and the alien use of owls is discussed at length in a nearly 400-page book by Mike Cleland titled The Messengers, Owls, Synchronicity, and the UFO Abductee. Whitley Strieber, the author of the famous book about the alien abduction phenomenon, Communion, also links owls to the arrival of the Greys. Could the Lechuza legend be used to manipulate people during an alien abduction? We are not shy to explore all angles of the mystery here on Mexico Unexplained, and this includes possible off-world explanations for what we look at. The possibility that the Lechuza is being used by the Greys in their nefarious doings is not off the table here. So, is this massive bird a figure of the collective imagination? Is it a genuine cryptid? Is it part of something not of this world? There has been very little serious investigation into the Lechuza, and for now the creature remains mostly the stuff of legend and a way to keep children inside and safe. It's an interesting phenomenon, but it is waiting for some serious examination. Thus ends another episode of Mexico Unexplained. Please follow us on social media, subscribe to us on iTunes, and send us a comment or question. I appreciate your attention, and until next time, thank you and gracias.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Mexico Unexplained with host Robert Bitto. For show summary, relevant links and commentary, please check out our website at mexicounexplained.com. Like us on Facebook and be a part of the conversation. Adios and hasta la vista.